Have you ever been walking down the mall and you pass by this window and you're like, whoa, hold up, let me pause and go inside and take a further look? Well, that is probably because you've come across an exterior display. And when you walk into the store, everything seems to speak to you, or it seems to be cohesive and conveys a theme. That is going to be your interior displays. So today we're going to talk about exterior and interior displays as they relate to visual merchandising. This is the second part in a 5-part series on visual merchandising. Come on in, let's talk about it. You're listening to Marketing Adventure, the hub for business, fashion, marketing, and other CTE educators who integrate marketing into the learning experience. I'm your host, Jackie Walker. Each week, I'll cover marketing education concepts, strategies, tips, trends, frameworks, and other information to equip you to connect your classroom to digital natives while cultivating an engaged learning environment. So come on into the room where your favorite beverage, snacks, and even your cell phone are all welcome. As we talk about displays today, we're going to start with exterior displays. An exterior display is the presentation of merchandise that provides the first exposure with a store, and it generates in-store traffic or online traffic if we're talking about, websites or what have you. But it's kind of hard to have an exterior display with the website. So you may talk about the home page on a website, or with social media, you can't really get that same feel, but it could be those posts that you have pinned at the top of your social media. So we're going to correlate those. But exterior displays are going to generate in-store traffic or online traffic, and it conveys information to the potential customers. So let's get into the details of exterior displays. I'm going to cover 9 different types of exterior displays. One is called an open back window. The other is a closed window, shadow box, angled window, half open window, corner window, straight front window, arcade window, and a masked window. The first exterior display is the open back window. Now, this provides a direct view to the consumer of the store, which means that the display window has no back to it. And you'll see this in a lot of the specialty retailers where they'll have, their glass window display for the storefront, and there is no wall behind the display. So you'll see the mannequins and the clothing and the signage in the window, but you can also see the whole store because there's no window behind that display. And a lot of times that's used so you can have an open view of what the store looks like. And it's rather inviting because then you'll see the items on the inside and you'll want to go in and take a further look because it allows you to see the other displays. It allows you to see how the store is set up. So that's when that interior display comes into play because it invites you to come into the store. So in that case, they're using exterior display and interior display to attract the customer into the store. Now, the exact opposite of the open back window is the closed window. Now, this encases the whole display with walls. So the only thing that you're seeing is the actual items that are in the display. Now, this gives the customer it gives the retailer a way to create an environment that really can bring the visuals to life, and it allows you to use the walls to set the scene for whatever it is that the retailer is promoting. So this really allows for more creativity, and this then can create the mystery of what is in the store or make the customer want to walk into the store to see more. But it does give you more of a canvas to work with when you're creating those creative visuals that will attract your customers into the store. So closed windows is one thing that you'll see a lot of, especially like with, I would say, department stores. They have those closed windows on the sides of the entry of the store. And they have, they promote various things from the department stores. Department stores have so many departments, so they can rotate those different items into the storefront so that you can actually see what is in some of the departments within the department store. But it is popular with those type of stores. But of course, specialty retailers use those as well. And again, it just really helps to encase the visual display that the retailer wants to showcase. Shadowbox is the third type of exterior display, and it's just really an enclosed window display that boxes in the object. So you'll see this a lot with jewelry retailers. If you go into some of the malls, especially the higher end jewelry display, the higher end jewelry retailers, they will have on their wall, their exterior wall display, they'll have maybe a watch in the little shadow box. So it covers, if you can imagine, just think about a shoebox and a shoebox with a glass over it. So we don't see the actual box part most of the time. We will just see the encasement of the item in that box. And so it has a little door on the back. They are able to open the door, slide the item in, and then you can see it. And it's like they have this functional lighting in there that highlights the item, but it's an enclosed box. It's really a version of a closed window that's more in a box form because it's not a full-fledged floor to ceiling display. It is a little box that an item, like a singular item, is displayed in. And again, it's used a lot with jewelry retailers or accessory retailers, purses. I know that Louis Vuitton does an enclosed, a shadow box with some of their items in some of their stores, not all of their stores. Here in Dallas in the Galleria, they'll do something of that magnitude, but an enclosed box is a shadow box that really highlights one particular item. And just to help you understand shadow box display, there are shadow box frames that anybody can purchase from any store that sells framing materials. And that shadow box frame is deeper than a regular frame because you are probably going to mount something in there like, let's say, a baseball bat and a ball. Maybe your kid played softball or baseball when they were younger, and you want to encase the items that they played with. And so it's used to encase things other than a picture. And one of the main things that you can think about is a flag when they fold it into the triangle and they put it in this case. It's a wooded framed case. That's a shadow box of some sort. But the shadow box allows just more depth to your framing so that you can put objects in there as opposed to pictures. So just take that into the retail environment and you're creating this bigger box to put an object in that you want to display and to be highlighted. So that's a shadow box. So the next type of exterior window display is an angled window. And when we say angled, it means that if you're standing in front of the store, the lines of the display angle in towards the door. So it's not just straight, it goes in at a diagonal towards the door on each side. So that is an angled window display. Now, the window display itself can be a closed or an open display window, but because it has those diagonal angles on it, it is actually defined as an angled display. So next is a half open window display. Now, because we say half and open, it may make you think about the open and the closed window display. And this is the in between both of those. So a half open window display generally has this wall that's centered in the display. And then on either side of the wall, you can see into the store. So this gives a little bit of a background for the store. It gives a little bit of a backdrop where you can put some decorative items on to help create the visual effect of that display window. But it also gives some openness so that you can actually take a peek into the store. But it just allows for more creativity and visual management of the display that you have in the window. The next is a corner window display. There's something about corner window displays that I just love, and I don't know why. It's generally, I think the interior or visual merchandiser gets a little bit more creative with a corner display. But a corner display is on the corner of a retail store front. So it's right there at the corner. So the customers, the viewers can see the display from either side of the store if they're standing on a corner. And so it really gives a creative visual element to the display, and it actually kind of creates a little bit more of a space to use for display because you're most of them are a square because they're on a corner. Sometimes they can be a triangle because that back part could go from one end of each corner just straight across rather than creating another corner on the inside of the store. But it's a really interesting display, and it really allows for the store to capture traffic on either side of the sidewalk coming to that corner. So it really is an interesting feature, and it just brings a lot of attention to the store because viewers are able to see that display from really pretty much like a almost a 360 view, except for the portion is going to be in the store. So you're really getting a view of that display from several angles, and it's just very visually pleasing. Every time I see a corner display, it's really neat. The exterior of the store tends to be really decorated up because it's on a corner, and it just looks visually appealing. So they're very rare. There's not a lot of them because, as you can imagine, a lot of retailers are not located on a corner, so you don't see it that frequently. But when you do, it's very appealing. Now let's talk about the straight front window. The straight front window means that the display window is aligned with the door of the store. So there's no angle, there's no setback of the door. It just goes straight across from the window to the door to the other window on the other side. You'll see that a lot with some specialty retail stores. The straight front window tends to be used in conjunction with the open window concept, because the door is just right there with the window. It really is an open concept type of a store that doesn't have the encased or closed window displays. So that's where you will frequently see a straight front window. Everything is just kind of all aligned right there together at the front, and there's no setback of the door from the consistency of the window. Now, the arcade window is totally opposite of the straight front window because the arcade window is recessed back from the front of the store. So it's like the angled window is that is recessed back, except for the lines are just straight. They're not angled towards the door, they are straight towards the door. So it's just a little box that it kind of creates of a corner that goes to the door on each side of the door. So the door itself is recessed back from the window display. So it just creates that like little opening there, which if you think about a home, and a lot of times the door is recessed back from the front of the house just to create like that little safety zone coverage from the weather and all of that kind of stuff. But that's what you would see in an arcade display. The last window is the mask window. This one is really fun. It takes creativity and it really brings visual displays, exterior displays to life. So it consists of decorative elements that frame a display, creating an intentional focal point within that display on the product. I've seen it, an example where the window is made to look like a camera, and then there is a little opening where you can look in and you actually see the product on the inside. So the window itself is covered in whatever decorative elements the visual merchandiser decides to do for that store. And it gives you a peek into the merchandise that is behind all of the decorative elements that you see into the store. So it really incites curiosity, and it makes you want to go up to the window and look through the openings that it has to see the visual elements behind the display. And it really just kind of excites you and makes you want to go into the store and take a look. But it's very creative, and they call it mask because if you just think about a mask that you put on your face, like let's say for one of a ball or something of that nature, where you have to have the little mask on the stick and you're hiding behind the mask, and the only thing that people see are your eyes, and you take the mask off and they're like, oh, it's so and so. Well, that's the same kind of thing that the mask display creates, is because it's creating this visual element, very nice looking, very attractive, incites your curiosity, and it makes you want to peel back the layers so you can actually see what's on the inside. So that is a masked display. Hey, adventurous educator. I just want to take a quick break to ask, is this your first time teaching fashion marketing, or do you need a boost in your curriculum? Well, look no further. I have the Ultimate Fashion Marketing Class Bundle. It's packed with 4 vibrant presentations, fun and engaging activities, quizzes, and 4 major projects for an immersive semester of fashion exploration. And it comes with a pacing guide for an 18-week semester. Additionally, each assignment has detailed student instructions and suggested pacing times so that you can tailor the time frame to fit your teaching schedule. For more information about this must-have bundle, go to marketingadventure.com and search Ultimate Fashion Marketing Class Bundle, or simply click the link in the show notes. Now back to the show. Up next are interior displays, because once that exterior display brings you into the store, we have to keep the theme alive. We have to keep you enticed. We have to keep you wanting to walk around, look at merchandise, and ultimately make a purchase. So interior displays. There are 11 types of interior displays that we are going to discuss today. They are open, closed, enclosed, showcase, architectural, store decoration, point of purchase, flying, island, ledge, and shadow box. Some of these may sound a little repetitive because the same concepts are used on the interior as they are used on the exterior. So let's talk about them. The first interior display is open. So with the open display, this, as it implies, it has no doors on it. So it's just a display that is in the open area, that is not encased. It's generally like your tables, your blocks, your islands, and other raised surfaces that are just free for the member or the customer to have access to. So no one has to come over and let them inside and get something out of the display for them. It is free for them to touch, feel, pick up items or what have you, so that they, while they're shopping, so they can get a better look at it. So that is your open interior display. The second one is your closed display. Now, of course, this one has a door on it, so it's closed up. Nobody, you can't easily access it. So generally, a salesperson has to come over, open it up, and take the item out for you to view it. Just keep in mind that it has a door on it. So now there is another type of display that is called enclosed display. Now you might be like, what is the difference between the enclosed and the closed? One of the differences I would say is that an enclosed display tends to have glass on the top and the sides and the front, and you can see the items from all angles. Whereas a closed display can simply be some items that are hanging on a wall that has a door that closes it off, where you can't get to it. Or it may have a lock on it. So, and these could be higher end items. But anyhow, so enclosed display is just fully glassed, and generally store personnel has to come over and help you with items that are inside of it, generally like in a jewelry department or a jewelry store. The items are enclosed because they tend to have a higher value, and it tends to lead to more one-on-one sales interaction with the personnel in the store. Now, there's a showcase display, which is very similar to an enclosed display because it may have glass on all sides. Now, this could be something that's up on the wall because you're trying to showcase some items. It could be high price point items. It could be that it's a collection, but this tends to be something that is on the wall in a showcase manner. And so the merchandise can be seen from the front, from the side, but not necessarily from the top, because if it's on the wall, you can't really see it from the top. This could be some, like I said, it could be high end items, but it could still be like handbags that you may see up on the wall behind a glass casing. It could be jewelry like necklaces on a little necklace form that are on display, but it allows it to be seen in a more visual manner. It's higher up. So again, it has the doors on it, and it's called a showcase because of the style of the display unit that it is in. Next is architectural display. So this is a display that is created to showcase a room with furniture, large scale elements, and with hardware using structural designs. So it could be like a special setting to display clothing in, or the accessories in. So it was created specifically to house those items. Not necessarily on a regular rack, but within a very visual and architectural way. So you may find this in your higher end stores where there's not mass merchandise. There are smaller quantities of merchandise, so they can focus on the architectural element of the visual display within the store. So those are called your architectural displays. They are more about the image and about the consumer feeling a certain way when they come in the store, and just more high end merchandise tends to be used in that type of environment. The next interior display is store decoration. So, store decoration has to do with the display that creates a theme based on the store's image or seasons or even special events or occasions that are going on at that time. So, the interior display is going to be thematic throughout the store. Let's take, for instance, a boutique that has like a country vibe. So you're going to see all of those little elements that create that country feel. Or maybe it's a place that has like I'm thinking about Journeys. It's more for like, it started off for the skateboarder. So it creates that kind of feel with every element that they put in the store. It relates to a person who may be a skateboarder or in that genre of customers. So the store decoration is just really carries out the branding and the image of the store, and it's consistent throughout. The next is point of purchase. Now, these are just little displays that are purposely placed around the cash register, whether they're on the counter at the cash register or there is a stand near the cash register. So if you're waiting in line, you can visually browse those items on that stand to say, oh, that looks interesting. Let me pick that up and add it to my purchases. That's why it's called point of purchase display, because it's designed to create impulse shopping, so that you can add stuff to your items that you're purchasing, and it makes it a higher sale. So you increase the sales volume for the store by making those point of purchase sales. The next is flying. Flying displays are those that are hung from the ceiling or stretched across the store to create some visual uh, aspect to the display. It makes it look like the items are like hanging in the air, and they use fishing line to do these type of displays, but it just brings that visual element to life, and just creates a visual display that stimulates the customer's eyes and engages them in whatever it is that's being promoted at that particular time. So that is a flying display. Next is the island. Now, the island is usually where you'll see bulk items. You don't necessarily see, sometimes you can see a mannequin dressed up in the outfit and have the merchandise around that island on racks, but generally, an island display um, has tends to have bulk items, especially like when you go into a department store or even in the specialty stores. There are bulk folded items on the island that gives you access to the merchandise from either side of the display. So, and just imagine island, just like you think the word island means this mass of land that's set apart from the other um, land by water. And that's essentially what an island is in the store. So next is the ledge display. So this is basically created with a shelf that comes off of a wall. You may have a half mannequin sitting on top of it with the items on that, that are dressed up in the items that are on the racks or that are immediately around that particular display. Um, it can be eye level or it could be up higher, just depending on the display and the planogram for that particular store or setup or collection. But it is a raised surface so that you actually see the mannequin, the items, just the full look of what that collection is about. And it could have signage as well. So there's a variety of ways in which you can use a ledge display, but you tend to see those in every single store that you go in. The last is a shadow box, and it's the same as I was talking about with the exterior display. It is a box that encases an item. It's a miniature display. Sometimes it's recessed into the wall that may be locked or and lit up. And again, it tends to be high-end items that have to be shown to you by personnel. And if you're wanting to try it on, say like it's a ring or a watch or anything like that, then more than likely the sales personnel will have to unlock it for you to have access to it. But again, it's a box that is recessed into a wall that has a specific object in it that is highlighted. Lighting comes down on it to spotlight the item, and it tends to be locked and is cased generally by glass. So that concludes our talk about exterior and interior displays. I know we covered a lot of elements, but let me just run back over those really quick. So your exterior display has 9 types open back, closed window, shadow box, angled window, half open, corner window, straight front window, arcade window, and masked window. Your interior design, our interior display, has 11 types. So we have the open, closed, enclosed, showcases, architectural, store decoration, point of purchase, flying, island, ledge, and shadow box. I hope that has been informative to you. I do thank you for joining me here at Marketing Adventure with Jackie. Come back next week because we're going to continue this discussion about visual merchandising. In that discussion, we'll be talking about atmospherics and floor plans. How exciting. Come on back to the room where we talk about everything fashion marketing. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Thanks for listening to Marketing Adventure. Remember to subscribe, rate, review, and share this episode with someone you think would benefit from the information shared here today. If you have any questions or want to connect with me, find me on Instagram at Marketing Adventure. All links and resources discussed in this episode can be found in the show notes at marketingadventure.com.